喺報紙嘅報導咧，大家都會睇到咧，其實即係呢方面嘅事情咧，其實都係即係一路發生緊嚇。就即使係早嗰兩日咧，大家都睇到新聞都知道，其實連聯合國嘅學校咧都受到轟炸啊。咁呢方面其實都好值得我哋關心嘅。咁所以我哋今日咧就其實好榮幸咧請到兩位喺呢方面咧係我哋叫得做專家嘅人士咧嚟幫我哋分享佢哋對呢方面嘅睇法。咁第一位咧，我哋就好高興咧係請到我唔知點樣形容啊，因為好多人咧就會形容佢係資深記者啦，亦都有啲人咧就會形容佢係戰地記者啊，或者有啲人咧就形容佢係旅行記者，或者背囊記者，或者甚至到咧係有人形容係一個詩性嘅記者 poetic journalist。咁就但係無論如何，我相信大家咧如果對社會運動或者對即係人權各樣咧，其實好有關注嘅時候咧，都應該好熟悉嘅張翠容小姐啊。另外一位咧，我哋即係好榮幸咧，就今日即係都請到嚟嘅咧，就係即係國際組織香港分會嘅總幹事歐美寶小姐。咁亦都係一樣啦，即係如果大家對即係香港社會發展咧好關心嘅時候咧，我相信都唔會陌生啊，亦都應該好熟悉，因為歐美寶咧其實喺呢方面咧即係做咗好多嘅工作啊，亦都係十分之資深。咁一陣就等佢自己介紹翻咧就 AI Hong Kong 嗰個工作啦。咁但係我哋都知道咧，其實歐美寶都係喺呢方面咧係十分之即係了解同埋有心得。佢即係除咗係喺香港工作之外咧，我哋都知道其實佢喺全世界各地咧都會成日去做，包括咗去緬甸啊，即係各個地方。咁一陣咧就可以請歐美寶咧去詳細同大家介紹翻佢哋嘅工作。好啦，嗱喺我哋邀請兩位即係咁有份量嘅專家去分享佢哋嘅睇法之前咧，我就想咧播一套片啊，俾大家去睇翻，究竟喺即係以巴衝突呢件事件上邊咧，其實點解會令到我哋覺得係咁即係值得我哋關心咧咁樣？亦都咧我想去同大家播翻套片咧，就係究竟喺呢幾個禮拜啊，即係如果你從新聞片段嗰度咧，當然係睇到個情況係點樣，但係即係呢個用幾分鐘嘅時間咧，大家可以睇下嗰個畫面。熄燈會好啲啊！
Strengthening security is the best way to strengthen peace. We long to see an end to the conflict with the Palestinians. President, thank you for the ability to exercise that right through generous military assistance, revolutionary missile defense programs, and unprecedented security and intelligence cooperation.
To train soldiers in the fundamentals of urban warfare, Israel broke ground in 2005 on the Urban Warfare Training Center at Sayre, built with labor and significant funding from the US military. The $45 million facility is one of the largest and most technologically advanced of its kind in the world.
In terms of what's going on now, what's your assessment of what Israel is doing in Gaza?
好嗱，大家頭先喺畫面上邊咧都見到係十分之震撼。不過其實呢個咧係即係早2個禮拜嘅情況啊。其實如果你睇翻即係而家嘅最新嘅進展咧，其實個情況咧係更加惡劣嘅呢一方面。咁但係究竟點解即係以巴衝突咁多年嚟一路係都解決唔到咧？嗰個歷史嗰個背景喺邊度咧？咁亦都我想大家咧去睇下一個即係動畫嘅介紹啊。咁就去講翻其實成個以巴衝突嘅來龍去脈係點樣。咁呢個大約有6分鐘嘅時間，請大家細心欣賞。
What would happen is you build a refuge for a persecuted people in a place where another people already lived. In the next few minutes, you'll learn why this moral quandary is at the root of the struggle between Israelis and Palestinians, and what you can do to help achieve a just peace for everyone in the region. First, there are a couple of things it's helpful to understand. One, many Jews fled harsh persecution in anti-Semitic Europe, especially the Nazi Holocaust. Zionists encouraged massive immigration to historic Palestine, at that time a British colony, where Jews had an age-old connection and where small Jewish communities had long existed among larger groups of indigenous peoples. But when the UN offered the Jewish immigrants the majority of the land for a new state called Israel, for the indigenous Palestinians who lived there, it was a massive destruction of life. They rejected the UN's partition plan, and several Arab states invaded the new state of Israel. Israeli forces essentially erased over 400 Palestinian villages and towns. By the end of the fighting, Israel controlled 78% of historic Palestine. And when 750,000 Palestinians who fled or were expelled during fighting tried to return to their homes where the new state now stood, they were permanently barred by the Israeli government. Well over 100,000 of their relatives and neighbors who hadn't left became second-class citizens of the new state, along with the new Jewish majority. Today, Palestinian refugees and their descendants number in the millions. Most are in the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, and Jordan. Many are spread throughout the world, with millions still living in refugee camps, seeking to return to their homeland. To sum up, one group of refugees found a much-needed home, but in the process, a new group of refugees was created. Here's the second thing to understand. Israel was founded as a Jewish state, but now ask yourself, what exactly does that mean? People had lots of ideas about what a Jewish state should look like. Some called for equality for all citizens. But what was created in practice was institutional discrimination against non-Jews. In other words, Israel ended up being built on a blueprint of exclusion. The Israeli government wants maximum land and resources for Jews, but not the Palestinians living there. That's why, inside Israel, Jews get special privileges, including rights to land and housing, that are denied to the Palestinian citizens, who make up 20% of Israel's population. That's also part of why Israel has never defined its borders. In fact, they still hold on to land, the West Bank and Gaza, that they conquered in the war in 1967. Since then, Israel has built Jewish settlements throughout the occupied West Bank, building Jewish-only cities and supplying them with infrastructure like roads and army camps, schools, and even a college. Military occupations are meant to be temporary, but after 40-plus years, this one looks permanent and entirely unjust. In the West Bank, Israeli Jewish settlers and Palestinians live on the same land, but must live under two completely separate and unequal systems of Israeli law. The Jewish settlers dominate the natural resources, including water and agricultural land, and they're backed by the Israeli army. To maintain the occupation, Israel has demolished thousands of Palestinian homes and orchards, confiscated Palestinian land, bombed a captive civilian population in Gaza, and punished resistance with raids, arrests, and assassinations, all to gain maximum land, while making life so difficult for Palestinians that they will either leave or be too afraid to resist. Palestinians have fought back. For decades, they tried to achieve national liberation through armed struggle. Some groups still do, but the majority now support popular protest instead. The deeply harmful pattern of control, repression, and violence profoundly harms Palestinians living under occupation and Israelis living as occupiers. This must be broken to reach a peaceful and secure future for both peoples. Now that you understand the problem, what about the solution? What about peace talks? So far, over 2 decades of U.S.-backed peace talks have actually made things worse by helping Israel continue the occupation. It's been years of talking while Israel massively expanded the Jewish settlements and literally redrew the map. Peace talks are good if they're real, but not when they're theater to cover a land grab. So now what? The current world superpower, the United States, has been a terrible friend, enabling Israel's destructive and self-destructive expansion onto Palestinian land by funding the Israeli military, the biggest recipient of U.S. foreign aid in the world. But there's another superpower that can make the difference: you. There's a movement with hundreds of thousands of people just like you across the world, including Palestinians and Israelis, protesting, educating, divesting, and boycotting, all to bring nonviolent international pressure on Israel to stop violating human rights of Palestinians. Throughout history, where governments have failed to push for justice, people just like you, like us, have taken the lead and won. Now it's the Palestinians' turn for freedom and justice. We can pressure Israel to end the occupation and the discrimination. We want all people, Jews and Palestinians, to have equality, human rights, and democracy. We can change history. Join us.
大家睇完套片之後咧，就對成個以巴衝突嘅歷史咧都有一啲背景嘅認識。嗱，當然其實即係如果大家睇翻咧，佢係比較係同情巴勒斯坦嘅角度去講啊先套片啦。咁我哋一陣間睇下有冇時間，如果有時間咧，我都想播一套片咧，就係從即係同情以色列嘅角度咧，睇下佢哋又點樣睇呢件事情。咁不過咧，就喺即係播嗰套片之前，其實我哋都想嚟到我哋即係主要嘅環節，就係咧我哋請阿張翠容小姐咧，就同我哋講下究竟喺佢嘅體會入邊，佢點樣去即係理解以巴衝突咧？究竟以巴衝突所帶嚟俾我哋嘅啟示又係啲乜嘢咧？咁樣我交時間俾張翠容之前咧，其實我想再詳細介紹下佢頭先即係約介紹過。其實咧就即係我上網揾到佢嘅資料咧係十分之多，我都唔可以一去講晒啊。不過咧，我相信大家最熟悉咧，其實可能都會睇過張翠容嘅啲大作啦。唔知大家有冇睇過即係佢第一本書就係行過烽火大地啦，跟住其實一連串嘅我即管逐本讀出嚟啊，就大地女人啦，中東現場啦，拉丁美洲真相之路同埋最新嘅咧就係地中海之春啊。咁其實咧就其他好多啲文章，我相信大家咧都會睇好多。其實頭先我講有好多人形容啊，張翠容咧就係即係戰地記者啊。有佢硬朗嘅一面啊！其實如果大家有機會咧睇過中東現場咧，其實都會發覺其實張翠容咧去訪問，譬如訪問阿拉法特啊，即係以前巴解組織嘅領袖啦，亦都訪問過即係哈馬斯嘅即係領袖啊，扎哈爾醫生咁樣。咁其實大家如果有睇嗰本書咧，就發覺張翠容其實嗰個訪問過程入邊咧。其實又唔係純粹即係淨係拋出一啲問題等對方答嘅喎，即係如果大家從字裏行間會睇到咧，其實張翠容咧其實係其實差唔多係一個辯論㗎嚇，同佢哋即係有佢自己本身嘅睇法。我唔知係咪呢個係即係記者嘅技巧啊，就令到撩到對方咧可以講多啲真嘅嘢咁樣。咁即係但係從呢方面大家可以睇到咧，其實張翠容作為即係一個資深記者咧。即係我自己會覺得佢有個特點咧，就唔係純粹淨係攞答案，佢都有自己透過自己嘅一啲嘅睇法咧，令到對方咧係可以有更加多嘢可以講到出嚟，咁樣係有啲火花喺度。但係喺硬朗之中咧，其實我哋要睇到咧，其實張翠容咧都有佢感性嘅一面喎。如果大家有睇過，即係佢拉丁美洲真相之路啦，即係我最深刻嘅印象咧，就係佢到最後。講到佢會好多謝好多人去，即係喺成個過程去寫書嘅過程入邊咧，有好多啲幫助。最令我深刻嘅印象，令到我即係都禁不住會即係落淚嘅咧，就去提到咧，即係父母之恩啊！即係入邊翠容就有提到，即係父母係衣帶漸寬終不悔，都係流出好多汗水咧去養育啲仔女。咁呢個係。即係我亦都睇到原來喺一個硬朗嘅記者，佢背後咧都有即係溫柔同埋感性嘅一面。 咁及至到即係大家又睇到佢最新嘅一本書《地中海嘅春天》咧，佢又提出一個好令我哋值得去反省嘅一個焦點，就係心裏的瘟疫啊！即係如果大家有睇到，究竟我哋幾時會覺醒咧？譬如喺以巴問題上邊，我哋究竟點樣去解讀、點樣去理解、點去關心咧？咁呢啲其實都係我哋跟住嚟計個半個鐘頭咧，我哋會洗耳恭聽，就希望咧張翠容咧可以幫我哋去講翻佢自己嘅睇法係點樣。咁我哋而家以你嘅掌聲咧，就歡迎張翠容幫我哋去講講喺以巴衝突嗰度，其實有啲乜嘢體會咧咁樣。嗰個時間交俾你啦，唔該。